Hello guys, I'm Hariv Kanan and this is day 4 of me learning coding. And straight out of the bat I'm gonna tell you, let me announce this guys, that my mic quality will has already significantly improved. As you can notice, I was having to use external mic guys with the earphones and all, which was really bad mic quality. I just discovered a setting that was available in my MacBook all along, which I just had to turn on, and you could see the difference in the audio quality. It's day and night. And the second thing that I wanted to begin with is an apology, since it's been 3 days since I have not posted my previous video. I have my own reasons, and let me explain to them because I owe it to you guys real quick. So the first reason was day one, I broke my leg due to an accident and I couldn't study much because I was in too much pain. And yesterday I did study, but it was not good enough. Let me show you. So I've been studying with this thing and I have completed till, I have to do this. I have completed till break and continue, right? So yesterday I studied till this part, but I was not happy teaching you guys this thing. It felt most of the information was irrelevant and not very interesting. It was just information that you would learn once you start coding on your own. So I just went ahead and started with the most fun part for myself, which was the blackjack gaming. And one thing that I want to tell you all is that I felt super proud of myself when I was able to type the code. Basically, how the blackjack game was taught is that he would tell that our mentor, Bo Bernes, would tell us this is what we are gonna do, and he would tell us to pause the video and type the code out, which I would always do. And when I resumed the video, the code that I would have typed is the code that Andre ends up typing. So I think I was very proud of myself. Anyways, so and from tomorrow I've completed this course now, so I'll have to start creating and looking for new content and new things to study from. Me studying is the content for you guys, so that's the thing. Anyways, let me start with the video. Real quick, I'm gonna skim through this day 4's notes and get into the game, since that's the fun part. That's what we're here for. So there we go. So a class, ignoring this definition, I've watched so many videos and even referred to a couple of books to understand what classes are in Python, because it has been a bit confusing than other languages for me personally, since of this init constructor here, init constructor and the self instance. So yes, so it has been quite confusing, but I have referred to lots of these things and I've gotten a good idea of what classes are in Python. So here's what I've written down about classes. Classes are like blueprint for creating objects. So what objects are? This is an object called Roger. Object is an instance of a class. Yes. Create character with attribute. Okay, we are gonna go ahead and explain how classes work. So we are gonna create a class character. Okay, and the character is gonna have 3 attributes, which is health, damage and speed. Yes, so we are gonna create a character and the character has 3 attributes, which is health, damage and speed. Now we initialize all these 3 things, and we always use the self function because it is linked to the it points towards the class. For example, if I'm gonna explain, say we call the warrior function here, and then we create a variable called warrior here and call the class function, and then we pass the health, damage and the speed attributes, but we never but the thing that is pointing the class towards here is this self. So that is the use of self, is what I've understood, and it is correct. So character gets pointed towards here by the self thing. So moving on, real quick. So the characters, so we create a warrior character with a health 100, damage 50 and speed 20, and then we create another character called ninja who's gonna have health of 80, damage of 40 and a speed of 40. So what do? Now we print both their speed. There you go. The warrior has speed of 20 and the ninja has speed of 40. Now we create another function inside this class called speed up, and whenever you call the speed up function, the speed of the characters gets doubled. As you can see, this is used multiplied by 2, speed multiplied by 2. Now I'm calling the speed up function on ninja's character now, and what is the output we get? Speed of warrior is 20 and the speed of ninja is 80. So that's pretty much it. Again, Python classes are like blueprints for creating objects. Yes, we could create an object called warrior with this blueprint. So this is the blueprint here. The character has health, damage and speed. We have made the blueprint, and we can also use this speed up function, which will always make the character speed into 2. I hope I gave you some ideas, you guys some idea about the class and things. See, because it has been really confusing for me. I took so, and next thing we discuss and learn about is something called lambda function. And lambda functions are nothing basically except more than that they are nothing but a one line code. So if you can see here, we use this multiply lambda a comma b is equal to a star b. What it does, it's gonna multiply a into b. So if you give the input 2 into 4, 2 comma 4, and the output comes as 8. So lambda functions are very small anonymous functions. Small anonymous function use the lambda keyword, right? Yes. And then the lambda function is particularly useful when we combine it with other inbuilt Python functions like map, filter, reduce, and I'm not going to be explaining what those are. You guys can check it out since it's not really required. And then there is something called recursion. What recursion basically means is that the code is going to keep calling itself until it reaches the desired output. So the code is going to keep calling it by itself. So that is what recursion is. A recursion technique is where a function calls itself directly or indirectly in order to solve the problem. So in here we create a function called factorial, and if n is equal to 1, return 1. We check if n is equal to 1, then we return 1. So then we keep returning 3, 4, 5. So we get the factorial of 3, we get the factorial of 4, we get the factorial of 5. It will keep multiplying until the n is equal to 1. So that is a recursion technique right here. I had forgotten about the nodes. I was confused for a bit. I got it. If you guys are confused, then I don't know how do I explain it better. And then there is something called decorators. So here we are taking the example of at log time decorator. So what it does is it logs in the execution time of each function. So as you can see, it's print before here, and then there is hello. We call the hello function, and it's after. Everything would have each and every function's time would have been logged in. So that is the advantage of the decorator. And then if you guys remember, I was struggling creating a multi-line command on day 1, but I have figured it out on day 4, guys. So there is this thing called docstring, and docstrings are basically used to document the Python code. But so how do we create a docstring? Is by using triple quotation, and docstring is nothing but just a multi-line comment. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to call multi-line as, multi-line or multi-line. I'm used to both. Exception handling. Okay, so what exception handling means is that if we get an error, then if we get certain error like division by error 0, or some sort of error which is the one and only particular error that is being caused in that function, then we use the error handling, aka exception handling. We have 3 different functions called try, except, and finally. Using this, we can make sure that the exceptions are getting handled. So in this code, uh, 10 by 10 0, we get the except 0. Try this code, where exception might occur, right? X is equal to 10 by 0. This will raise a 0 division error, we know that. Except 0 division error, in that case print error by division 0, and that's how we have handled the error now. And then we go to polymorphism. Polymorphism is basically just using different classes, but the same function allows different classes to be treated as object of common superclass. So we create two eat functions, but they are of different classes, hence they have, when they get called, they produce different outputs. Now let's get to the interesting part finally. So here's the blackjack game. Yes, so blackjack game, guys. Moment of truth. This is what I've been studying all about for the past 1 week. I think the 4-hour course I took one whole week for studying. But my review of this course would be that I've gotten a really good understanding of Python course, and my recommendation for you guys would be to write down the notes and get a good idea of what they are teaching you, and just not blindly look at the tutorial, because it will be a waste of time, and I have done that a couple times before. Anyways, let's get on to this code. So this is the blackjack game, and I'm just gonna run through this code for you guys. So import random, we import this random module, and you know why we're gonna import the random module. So if you're gonna play a game of cards, then we got to shuffle the deck. So hence, if you want to shuffle the deck, then we need the random variable, which I had guessed by myself when he was talking about these things at the beginning. Like I told you, I felt proud about myself knowing these things. So yes, so we create a class called card here, and we use the init, and we create two things, suit and a rank. Yes, and what do we do here? We return the rank to the rank thing of suit. Okay, self dot rank of self dot suit. Okay, class, and then we create a next class called deck. Okay, and it has cards, it has an empty list called cards, and then we have a suit variable which has all the suits, and the 4 suits are spades, clubs, hearts and diamonds. And then there is rank, which is nothing more than 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 J, Q, K and A. I'm not sure if I began with 1, but yeah, it's A. And in a blackjack game, A has the value of either 1 or 11, depending upon what the user requires, what is advantageous to the player, not the dealer. And also, the value for everything above 10 is 10. So the J, Q and K all has the value of 10. Let me show you. So the rank is J, Q, K and they have value of 10. Yep. So what do we do here? We are just basically creating the deck here using the for loop, another for loop. So we put the suit, and then we put the rank, and then we do this. I think it does make sense to you guys, at least it does for me. And then we create a function called shuffle function, because in a deck of cards we need to shuffle this. So that is being created here. Then we check if the length of the cards is greater than 1, then we shuffle the cards. And we have another function called deal. Deal basically means giving a card to the player or the dealer from the deck. So how is the cards dealt? First we create a variable called cards dealt, that is empty, and then we append the card. We pop the cards we pop a card from the cards variable, and then we append it to the cards dealt, so that we can keep a count of what are the cards that is being dealt. Okay, and then there is another class called hand. And what hand means basically is our cards, our set of cards that is being shown to us. And here we have cards value and dealer, and we have set dealer as false by default. So the current is gone, nothing to worry, the AC turned off. So in this case we have another function called add card. So what this add card function does is it adds a card to the list. I think I can't explain this much more than this. As you can see, this is the add card function, and the parameter that is being passed here is the card list. So we call the extend function here. I think guys, I already talked about the extend function. So what happens is the cards the card list gets extended, cards आ जाते हैं उसमें. So and then we calculate value of our hand. So what is the value of our hand? So if I'm going to explain blackjack game, let me first explain what blackjack game is, because I just learned it today when I was creating the game. So what blackjack game is, basically we will be given two set of cards. So we can either stand or hit. Not very sure about the specifics, guys, just giving you a general idea. So whoever gets the number 20 with the value 21 wins by default. That condition is called blackjack. So if the dealer gets the blackjack, then dealer wins. And if the user or the player gets the blackjack, and the blackjack wins. And then we also try counting the total number of cards. So and if the value of card, if our value of cards goes about 21, then we lose by default. It is called getting busted. And that is one rule. And there is also another rule where they check the value of your cards, who has the higher between the two cards. If he choose to stand, and if he whoever has the highest value wins. So as I was thinking about a, like I told you guys, depending on the user's need, a switches between 1 and 11. What I realized was that it is really good if you get a face card or a number 10 and a, then you win by default. That is the condition to get blackjack. Ain't that interesting? Yes. So we calculate the value, and then for cards, what are we doing here? Okay, we are basically just checking if it has ace or not, and then we are calculating the card's value here. Okay, so you see, has ace and silver value greater than 21, then the value becomes 1. Yes. And then we are getting a function, we create a function called get value, which gets the value of the cards. And then here we create a function called is it a blackjack or not. And here's a display function that just displays all the cards. Not gonna explain it code by code since I want the video to be a bit short. Please google through the things that you can't understand. For example, the enumerate function, the index thing, card. So please google it. And we also use a f string, I guess. Yes, we are using a f string, guys. Do you notice how we are doing this? I have taught you this about, I have taught you guys this about this on the day 1. So please check it out. Okay, moving on, we create another class called, finally we create this class called game. This is going to be the biggest class in this thing. This is the whole game. So we are not creating any more new functions here. Just play and game number and games to play. Okay, so we begin with the while loop. How does the game begin? Like, so if the games to play is less than 0, then the user asks how many games do you want to play. Then the computer asks how many games do you want to play. If we enter in, so here we are doing the exception handling, like I told you guys. If we enter a alphabet or something else, then it won't accept it. It will say you must enter a number. Here we have handled the error like this. So and then we go inside while game number is less than games to play. Increment game number is equal to 1. Then we create an object called deck of the deck class, and then deck gets shuffled, and then we have a player's hand, then we have dealer's hand. As you guys can see, the dealer's hand is true. Now we have to set it to true because we had set it to false to default. Yes. And then now we deal cards. First we deal cards one by one. So the first two cards gets dealt, and the players check it like what the card is, and then we choose, and then we get to choose, do we stand or do we hit, right? I had explained the rules earlier, and this is just the code how to do it. Like, while player gets hand less than 21, choice not into stand, then please choose hit or stand. Yes, while not choice and then his, then this is a, if we give anything else this, then it won't agree it, so it will say please do it again bhai karke. And we also use a lower function, so no matter if you give it on h or s, it will become lower by default. So that is there. And if choice hit and check winner, then we have a check winner thing which just basically checks the winner. So, and then I think here is a check winner function. Right now it makes sense. How does it check the winner? So we have only one function which is a check winner function, and how is the winner checked by all the rules I told you. So these are the rules. If the player hands gets by more than 21, then we are buster and the dealer wins. And if the dealer hand becomes more than 21, then player gets to win. Or if the player hand and if both of us get blackjack, then it becomes a tie, which is quite boring. And if we have a blackjack, then we win. The dealer has the blackjack, he wins. And whoever has the greater value, like I told you earlier, they win. And if the value is equal, it once again is a tie. Okay, so we have not put an if the dealer has greater than function, then by default greater wins. So that is what is being done here. And then we create a object of the class object called g of the class game, and then we call the function called play. Now we are going to try running the code. I know the control command, control raja bhai. How many games do I want to play? 2 or probably 3. Why not 3? Actually 2 is the lucky charm for me personally. So let me run again. Terminate and control R. How many games do I want to play? 2. Okay, so what are the cards? My hand, I have 10 hearts, 10 of spades, value 20. The dealer's hand hidden, he has a queue of spades, which means 10. He could get a blackjack, but I just need to stand, so I'm gonna put S. And I win because dealer hand only 17. Guys, see, it's pretty simple. I have a value of 13. Dealer has A of diamonds. I got a hit now. I just might lose. Okay, so I have value 14. I have to choose between hit or stand. Okay, I'm gonna stand now. Dealer wins. What did the dealer have, man? I should have hit. Anyways, that's all for today, guys. And from tomorrow I'll be creating, I have to look for new content. I'm planning to solve problems and create projects which I've looked for a book. So that's what I'm gonna be doing from tomorrow, and I will try my best to be more consistent and not skip days. A new month, new beginning. All right. Thank you, guys. Harif signing off.